We will smell you later, Tanara McLean. Looking forward to that segment. 8 o'clock on the nose. Time for us to dive into the stories that are leading the way on this Wednesday morning. And it is the talk of the water cooler this morning. After a 7-year absence, health premiums may be on their way back to our province.
We will be asking Albertans to begin to contribute directly to the costs of the health system. This revenue will start small, but it will grow over 3 years. And about the kind of
the Premier making that announcement during a province-wide TV address last night. Prentice stopped short of using the term health premiums and offered no specifics. The fees were axed back in 2009 by the Stelmach government. That variation of the fee brought in more than $1 billion annually into provincial coffers. The opposition, in reaction to the address, says the Premier's choice of words are just masking what he really means.
Let's be honest, it's a tax. It's a tax on Albertans. It's a tax on Albertans when the economy is suffering. You don't need to tax Albertans. You cannot tax yourself out of debt.
There's likely to be a deficit until 2017. Yeah, so what is likely to happen in my mind is that this coming budget will depend on some contingency fund, some money from that, hold a line on spending for different departments, and then introduce healthcare premiums. So it's going to be.
Meanwhile, Prentice reiterated he will not introduce a provincial sales tax and that overall taxes will still remain the lowest in Canada. Prentice also promising a balanced budget by 2017, and he also took a dig at his predecessors.
Fundamentally, we've not always had realistic expectations, and our leaders must bear a considerable part of the responsibility for that.
The televised address coming ahead of Thursday's provincial budget. It is also widely expected the Premier will then call an election sometime in the coming weeks. Alberta's Serious Incident Response Team is on the job in Wetaskiwin, investigating after a Mountie shot a man early Tuesday. Officers say the situation escalated quickly after they responded to a call of domestic abuse. They say a man immediately confronted them with a weapon upon their arrival. Police alleged he cornered them, prompting one of the officers to open fire. The man remains in hospital in serious condition. Bail hearing continues today for Omar Cotter in our city. His lawyers argue that it is his right as a Canadian to request bail. The 28-year-old was arrested in Afghanistan when he was 15, later convicted in the U.S. on war crimes charges. Cotter is serving an 8-year sentence in Canada while awaiting an appeal of his conviction in the U.S. His lawyer arguing that he poses no risk to the public.
Mr. Cotter's looking forward to this day, and you saw him in court. He was pleased to be there. He was respectful as usual.
The Crown will present its arguments today on why Cotter should remain behind bars. A decision could still be several weeks away. We will get another update today on the 102nd Avenue Bridge bent girders. Now, there was some cautious optimism Tuesday as those beams started to slowly straighten, albeit just millimeters at a time, after their weight was transferred to a massive crane. The city says that it should have a better idea today just how much the beams will ultimately straighten out and if they can be salvaged. And if it is enough, they are proven to be structurally sound, Groat Road could open much sooner than the projected April 7th date. As oil continues to struggle on world markets, top industry leaders are in our city discussing possible solutions. A heavy oil conference continues in our city today. This year's theme is producing more with less, coinciding with creating new strategies during the downturn. Delegates will exchange ideas and new technologies in an effort to map out global recovery. Mayor Don Iveson set to address the Congress today and also there to listen to make sure our city's interests are represented. Meanwhile, on the provincial front, Energy Minister Frank Oberle will promote Alberta's technical expertise.
Well, we are very clearly a world player. We have a world-class resource. We have world-class companies developing that resource. We have a world-class regulator and regulatory system. And people come here because we have a stable government and a good tax climate, regulatory certainty, all of the things that investors are looking for. So this is ground zero in world heavy oil.
The 3-day conference wraps up tomorrow. Angelina Jolie's surgery to remove her ovaries and fallopian tubes to combat cancer has helped to shine a light on her condition. A blood test revealed that Jolie had possible signs of cancer, triggering the preventative surgery. Denise Okranitz of the Hereditary Breast and Ovarian Cancer Society has also endured a similar struggle. The BRCA1 gene mutation that both women carry can make cancer 5 times more likely in their cases. Okranitz believes Jolie's decision will help bring awareness to the affliction.
It is a very hard thing, and I think we all appreciate what Angelina's had to go through, and with her being in the business that she's in, for her to make these decisions has been huge because her business is body image.
The Canadian Cancer Society estimates 2,700 women are diagnosed with ovarian cancer every year, and that 1,750 die from it annually. Well, animal lovers were seeing red at the Valley Zoo, but the good kind. Meet Rina, the red panda arriving in our city from Japan. The red panda is critically endangered, only about 10,000 of them left in the wild. Rina will join 2 other red pandas who already call the zoo home in hopes that they'll help to create some new red pandas.
She was in quarantine for a month. Then we made plans to move her down here to meet the other 2, because having 3 together is, you know, it's questionable. Other places haven't done it, so we wanted to house her with the male. There was breeding recommendations there.
Officials say so far the trio of red pandas is getting along famously. They're hoping that they didn't meet breeding season, and if so, or if not, rather, the zoo hopes to welcome more red pandas in August. And I'll let you